All right, there we go. I should be audible. Good morning, everyone. I'm back. I'm here. I'm not really awake, but I'm back and I'm here. Oh my gosh, and Kitsune resubscribed for the 38th month, 39th month. Hexagons and Kite resubscribed for the 39th month. Time to get all our ducks in a row. It's true. Yeah, totally awake. And Merlin is resubscribed for the 39th month. Woo! Oh my gosh, guys. Thank you. Much appreciated. But yeah, I'm here. I'm less ill than I have been the last 2 weeks, which is great. Really appreciate that. Yeah. There will be a D&D recap at the top of the hour. We had a session yesterday. So stay tuned for that. And otherwise, we're just gonna chill out and sew. I'm behind by so many hexagons. Yeah. It's a chill day, as it always is. So welcome. We're in the midst of joining hexagons in. Hopefully everybody has had a good couple of weeks. Kind of have been pretty good. I've just been randomly very ill on the weekends. Well, and I was ill most of last week. I caught a really awful summer cold, but I'm feeling much better now. So for how to. Yes. There is yes. Excellent. Good. Step one complete. Creepy Moogle noises. Where could those be coming from? Send help, the stream has moved. Craft along today is a dwarf fort which has no source of wood and no food beyond yak produce. Uh-oh. Simply dig very deep. I'm sure you'll find food somewhere below. That's how that works, right? Finishing your Minecraft decorating, and then you will probably be doing research for the symposium. Excellent. I need to also be working on my symposium projects. Luckily, mine and Kara's both are going to be fairly simple and straightforward. I just need to like sit down and actually put the presentations together. Totally could, but I'm kind of liking the constraints. Feels very dwarf. That's fair. Build all the things from stone. Should be drawing for your Patreon, but low energy right now. Yeah. Please rest when needed. The rest is important. It's still plenty early in the day. Doing all the orders by hand takes ages. It sure does. One of the reasons I tend to prefer RimWorld over Dwarf Fortress. If I could get the how would I phrase this? The geological generation, like the layers and layers of stone with like the blobs of stone and the gems and everything from Dwarf Fortress, if I could get that and the ability to like mine through it, but have everything else play like RimWorld, that would be like the perfect game for me. Just be like, the surface layer is RimWorld, but then you have the ability to dig down a layer, and then suddenly it's Dwarf Fortress where you can like mine out gems and then bring them back up and make things with them. Because like I really enjoy the underground exploration of Dwarf Fortress and like mining things out and finding the little gem nodes and collecting the gems. But everything else I tend to prefer the RimWorld style. I also play both of those like I play The Sims, though. I just kind of set up colonies and then poodle through and let them do things. And occasionally direct them to do things. I started playing The Sims 4 because it was free to play. And then I'm like, but I could just be playing RimWorld. It's the same thing. It's the same picture, Your Honor. At least the way I play. Rin! Through the power of time zones! Hello, good morning. Well, I guess good evening. I have been very much enjoying all of your pictures from vacation. I'm glad you're having a good time. Ooh, hear the pitter-patter of Moogle feet. Coffee! Thank you. Love you. Ah, I do believe that is the Snickers coffee we found yesterday. We actually did a social yesterday. After D&D, Kara and I went and hung out with friends at the mall for like 5 hours. We weren't expecting to be there until closing time, but then we just kind of kept wandering around and poking at things. It was a very expensive trip, but well worth it. We got things that we actually needed. And then also some fun things. But we went with a purpose. Kara needed new running shoes, and we fulfilled that purpose. We got her running shoes. And also other things. Like, you know, some Pokemon blind boxes. A non-zero amount of Pokemon blind boxes. But it was fun. It's been like literally years since I've just hung out and wandered around a mall. It was great. Oh yes, and the Kirby blind boxes. You are correct. And a shirt for Jade, because it was the most perfect shirt we've ever seen in our lives. So we're in the Hot Topic, right? And Hot Topic has their giant walls of t-shirts. And we're looking, just kind of, you know, idly, as you do. And we see this shirt. And both of us go, yep, that's Jade's shirt. Like, we don't make the rules. It's just, it is Jade's shirt. We need to acquire this for Jade. Because on it is a drawing of a raccoon riding a Canada Goose into battle, presumably. And underneath is the caption, "Become ungovernable." And we're both just like, yep, that's Jade's shirt. No arguing with that. That is Jade's shirt. You fixed the raccoon command, but that is the only image it now returns. Oh no. This is now the only raccoon that exists. Remind me, Kara, once Jade wakes up for the day, we should grab a picture of that shirt so that we can post it to the Cursed Cord. I feel like there are many people there that would appreciate it. We'll ask whoever's awake first. It's true. It's a toss-up. And then our big adventure for today is that once stream is done, Kara and I will be constructing a table. A big table. We bought ourselves a new kitchen table. Not yesterday at the mall. This is previous purchase. but we need to assemble it. IKEA table. Yeah, our Kite can attest. Our kitchen table was a little on the small side. So we have passed that table on to Kara's brother because he also needs a new kitchen table. And we bought ourselves a bigger kitchen table. So we will need to assemble it. It will be much better suited for dinner with friends and large puzzles and also commander games. That's true. It can become 3 different sizes. It's one of the expandable ones where you can like pull it apart and put another piece in the middle to make it bigger. Yeah, and specifically Flamecraft, because Flamecraft is a long puzzle, or a long board game. True. Yeah, we finally did the thing. So clearly, Kite, you just need to visit again so that you can experience new table. Once we've successfully assembled it. Although if you want to visit this afternoon and help us assemble it, we wouldn't say no. That would be great, actually. You can just fly in for the afternoon to help us put a table together, right? Stream table assembly? Oh god. I feel like nobody wants to see that. It's just a lot of me. We can all help. Oh no. Yes, I can get everybody to help me translate the IKEA pictograms. Be like, no, Kara, the other screw. The other screw. No, not there. The other screw in the other hole. Because typically the way that it works, if we're assembling furniture, is that I become management. I am in charge of the directions. Kara does not get to touch the directions. Kara does not get to see the directions because Kara has a tendency to read ahead and then consequently skip steps. So I'm in charge of the directions, and Kara is in charge of assembly. Except for the bits that need two people holding things, which obviously I help with. Yes, exactly, kids. So what happened to that friend group? We tried to build a table remotely. Exactly. Oh god. Ferris, why would you do that? Finally managed to download the FF14 patch onto my laptop using hotel Wi-Fi. All 84 gigabytes at 1 megabyte a second. Why? Just wait until you're home. Oh no. Why? Also, congrats? But why? The summer event ends hours before you land. Oh no. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I need to log on and do that at some point. Game immediately lied to you. It said there was a tail hole in the clothes. There's not? Boo. Oh god. So if we were to do remote table assembly, it would be we can't look at the instructions. We put them on the camera, and then chat tells us what to do. Oh god. That sounds miserable. I feel like with IKEA furniture, it could be doable if we like organized all of the screws and small parts by type. Especially if we organize them into easily distinguishable different dishes. Cause then you could do something like, okay, take one of the screws from the blue bowl, and there should only be one blue bowl. But yes, it definitely does still feel like a way to instantly dissolve any friend group. Just remotely build furniture. This feels like a bit that they would do for Loading Ready Live, specifically as an escalation of keep talking and nobody brick explodes. But it feels like a very bad idea to try to do it seriously. Embrace chaos. I don't think I want chaos in my furniture. Just, just throwing that out there. Especially furniture that's going to be load-bearing furniture. Keep talking and nobody brick explodes is already very divisive. This is probably another step worse. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, but it's only going to be holding cards and board games, never food. I mean, you're right. I sometimes eat soup at the table. It's hard to eat soup on a couch. But for the most part, you're right. That's true, and we usually have drinks while playing board games at the table. Also, it feels like a 4,000 piece jigsaw puzzle would be more annoying to clean up off of a collapsed table than any food or drink, to be honest. This sounds like a problem that could be solved with stream-assembled side tables. Oh, good lord. Well, what do you think, Kara? Do we want to switch focus of the stream to table assembly? Rather shave a Moogle. Oh god. Hey! Sufficiently unbust your hips and back that you can touch your toes again. Excellent! Also, I hope your travel was enjoyable and that your mom had a good birthday. Ite was traveling this weekend. Kite go noom. It's true. Kite did go noom. Alright, there we go. That's that 7 hexagon. Now we begin to assemble more hexagons. After call. Also, if the lighting seems a little bit weird in here today, for once we are just being lit by the overheads. Usually there's at least some amount of sunshine coming in through the window that's like right beside me. But it's very overcast and rainy today, so there's not actually any supplemental light coming. why it looks a little weird. Or at least it does on my monitor. Individual results may vary. Ooh, I just remembered that yesterday at the mall I bought a really pretty new holographic nail polish. Maybe today after table assembly. Paint nails. It was $6 nail polish, so we'll see what kind of coverage it gives. But I figured it was worth a shot. It looks pretty in the bottle. The kits, I don't know if this was your intention, but my brain just read that line in the cadence of City Escape from Sonic. That was where your brain was at? Excellent. It scans. Oh, you saw Duck Kite? Excellent. There might, in fact, be multiple Duck Kite running around. We are over the maximum amount of ducks, so it has started spawning in duplicates. Or we're over the minimum amount of ducks? It spawns one of each duck until you have all of them, and then once you have all of them, it starts spawning in duplicates, and we have hit the point where it is spawning in duplicates. So there may be more than one Kite. I know, as strange and unsettling as that sounds, but we should be used to that. Because we have seen cuddly Kite, and we have seen thirsty Kite, and we have seen a bunch of other Kites around. So we already knew that there are multiple Kites in the universe. We've seen multiple kitsunes as well. Ooh, that's true. Maybe the Brits do have cloning tech. They're just hiding it from us North Americans. Which, you know what? To be honest, fair. I would probably also hide it from us North Americans. There is a fox clone. Or at least only one that I've seen. The one that wears a pirate hat. Goes Yar. Well, presumably goes Yar. Good morning, Randus. Oh yes, that is a reminder. In about 15 minutes, we'll be getting started with the D&D recap. So if you need to run to the bathroom, grab refills on your drinks before that, do so. We'll get started at the top of the hour. A little bit of thread chicken. Was there D&D yesterday? There was, but you're in time for the recap. So just sit tight and we'll go over everything that happened. We'll be fine. Aha. A most thread chicken. Yeah, DM is really nice, but does have a thing for dragons. Oh my god, speaking of. So, we went to the mall yesterday, Randus, after D&D. Just to hang out with some friends and pick up a few things. And we were poking around in the EB Games. Or the GameStop, whatever it's called now. And they had little, like, anniversary edition Dungeons and Dragons little plush keychain dragons. It was so cute. They were like this big and just little plush keychains of like various colored dragons. I think it was specifically gem dragons. So there was like a ruby and a sapphire and an emerald and It was a yellow one too. It might have been metallic and gems, but they were really cute. And we were like, oh no, we should get one of these for Randus. Just send Randus a tiny dragon. But also, yes, good luck, Merlin. Good luck, and I wish your family speedy and accurate construction / repairs / whichever. Clearly, we should send him one of each color we defeat. Oh, that's a good idea. That's actually a very good idea. You have a few. There's the one your favorite monster got you this year for your birthday, and the twins, and the letter opener, and the Skyrim dragon on the word wall. Oh, excellent. So that is a good gift for you. Excellent. That is good to know. Also, that's adorable that they got you a little dragon for your birthday. I love that. I love when kids are empowered to get things for the birthdays of the adults in their lives, because you end up with like both the sweetest and sometimes like the silliest gifts. Like, I distinctly remember when I was a kid, and by kid I mean like 6, 7, 8. I was insistent that I wanted to get individual gifts for my aunts and my uncle for like Christmas. And like from me, I wanted to get them a gift from me. So, but I was, again, I was like 6, 7, 8. So my mom would be like, okay, well, you can have $10. Pick out a gift that's less than $10 for each of them, and then that can be your Christmas gift. And I distinctly remember one year I got one of my aunts like a loofah sponge, like one of those like shower sponges, not because I thought that not because she needed it or like she had asked for it or anything. I picked it out because it was purple, and I knew that purple was her favorite color. And so my tiny child brain was like, yes, this is purple. She'll love this. It's perfect. And my mom was like, okay. So for that year for Christmas, I gave my aunt a loofah. Might have been the basis of the design for this year's birthday dragon. Ooh. I'm excited to meet it then. All right. It is 11 a.m. So, last time, many weeks ago, when we left the Platinum Dragoons, we had decided that we were going to head a little bit south of Phandalin to an old dwarven fortress called Axholm to clear it out and make sure that it's secure so that if the dragon attacks again, the people of Phandalin have a secure place to retreat to. We figured that after 2 dragon attacks in very quick succession, that it might give the townspeople like a little bit of a peace of mind to know that they have a place that they can retreat to if they absolutely need to. So we've gone to clear it out. Balar did some scouting using an arcane eye and determined there's a lot of undead in there. And he wasn't able to scout the entire fortress. There were a bunch of closed doors that the arcane eye couldn't get through. But he scouted through what he could, and mostly found undead. We got through the portcullis and the front door on account of shattering it off its hinges. And then fought a bunch of ghouls that came running at the noise when the door was shattered off its hinges. You know, as you might expect. So we had fought our way through the horde of ghouls, and as we finished up the last of the ghouls, Phalar called attention to the fact that during his scouting, he had seen some kind of like a figure sort of like crouched and cowering behind this giant stone throne in like the throne room of the fortress. And we were now like standing in the doorway to that throne room. So Phalar was kind of like, hey, by the way, there was definitely something else that's behind that throne. So just, you know, be careful and keep your guard up. So Phalar, we kept initiative because we weren't sure what this thing was. Phalar had been able to see it was kind of dwarf shaped, but not exactly. And Marcella's combat spells are Shatter 2nd level, Shatter 3rd level, and Shatter 4th level. That is accurate. So Phalar moved kind of into the throne room and called out to whatever this creature is, basically come out with your hands up kind of thing. It did not come out with its hands up. Well, I mean, it sort of did. So Phalar and Teetgarn and Basil I think were the 3 that had moved forward at this point to kind of like get into the throne room. Marcella and Bram and Glint were still hanging back because they were a bit lower in the initiative order. So when Phalar called out, you know, hey, come out with your hands up, the creature did in fact like kind of poke its head around the edge of the throne, and it did indeed have one of its hands up. It kind of, you know, poked its head out so that it could see the party and pointed, and there was a rather large, slightly fiery explosion, but like not really a fire explosion, more of like a dark fire explosion of a sort. Saving throws were rolled. and passed or failed. Damage was taken. Yeah, it was hellfire. It's fine. That's fine, right? Damage was taken, and we all kind of went, okay, well, it doesn't want to talk to us. Pretty clearly, it does not wish to speak to us. T-Garn was able to get a good enough look at the thing, and based on his experiences sort of dealing with some of the undead in Ravnica, and the sort, he was able to make the determination of like, oh, it's something like a Death Knight. Like, it doesn't exactly look like a full... It kind of looks like... kind of like a baby Death Knight. Like, it's starting to become a Death Knight, but isn't, like, fully developed and there yet. And he was also kind of able to determine that, or was able to make the intuition of, oh, this is the leader of the fortress. Like, this is when this place was actually in use and like bustling and alive. This was the leader of this group of dwarves, and something happened, and he sort of made this sacrifice to stay behind so that the rest of his people could escape. And he has thusly taken on, you know, whatever this curse is. Yeah, a Death Squire. Exactly. Not a Death Knight, a Death Squire. I like that. But still, obviously now it's developing into a Death Knight, and it is very hostile. And should be put to rest, shall we say. So there was Hellfire Ow. The rest of us moved up into the room. So there's, the way the room is laid out, there's like a little bit of an alcove in the back wall where the throne is. And on either side of the throne are two large statues of, you know, like dwarven warriors posing or whatever. Two big statues. So between the two big statues and the throne in the middle, and the Castellan is, yeah, the term is Castellan. The Castellan was cowering behind the throne. So unless you were standing like in the perfect diagonal lines to be able to like peer between the statues and the throne, you couldn't really see him. Yeah. Quotation marks, cowering. To be honest, it was a very strategic position for it to take. And that is the other thing about Death Knights, is they are not mindless undead. They are very, very intelligent undead. They are very much capable of tactics and planning and reasoning and such. So we were kind of like, okay, crap. So T-Garn moved up close on one side and was using his long kunai with chain weapon to sort of get in a few hits on it. Bram attempted to get in a few hits on it and missed quite a bit. They in fact give all other undead within 60 feet advantage on everything. It's true. On account of their leadership skills, I assume. So yeah, it's probably a good thing we had already taken out all of the ghouls. Basil also was able to move in and sort of take a few slashes with his moonblades before moving back out again, kind of trying to stay out of this thing's reach. We know that it can throw the Hellfire orbs. We're not entirely certain what other things it can do at this moment. Um, do think of any other salient points before I skip too far ahead. Kite is very happy with the way they wrote this, so to quote their notes, withered by madness, infused with dark energies around likely linked to the abandonment of the fortress attire. The creature slowly turning into a Death Knight stands in the remnants of a Castellan's robes. Yeah, exactly. That is very cool. Yeah, it was the leader of this fortress. It is no longer that creature. It has been transformed into this Death Knight adjacent. This Death Knight Junior. And I believe at around this point is when it is able to get a recharge on its Hellfire Orb. And so then it thusly, I mean, as expected, pokes its head back out. And fires off another Hellfire Orb. And despite the fact that we have quite sensibly tried to spread out across the room, the Hellfire Orb has a large enough radius that it still catches all of us in it. So again, saves are rolled. Some amount of damage is taken. I make liberal use of Bram's shiny new reaction that allows him to avoid dex-based damage if he makes the save, which was very useful. Yeah, exactly. Kite spent this entire fight trying not to be in the AoE, still almost died. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 30 feet radius is very large. Like, that's basically the size of the room we were in, so even though we were spread out, it was very hard to avoid being in this AoE. So the party is starting to hurt, because, like, again, even if we're making the saves, we're still taking half damage off the Hellfire. So people are starting to look quite hurt. So Glint, has the idea of, okay, this is annoying. I don't like this. So she uses her Dreadful Step reaction to, basically teleport Misty Step up to not just on the throne, but like perched on the back of the throne, peering down at the Castellan over the back of it. Basically going, you know, not today. Yeah, exactly. Half damage was still about 20 damage. Full damage was hitting around 35 or 40. It was not good, especially with after two of them. So Glint Dreadful Steps up to the back of the throne, sort of peering down at the Castellan. Forget the actual effect of Dreadful Step. Not a fear effect. I don't remember, but it attempted to apply some sort of an effect to the Castellan, but I believe he saved against it. She then later on Misty Stepped backwards. Oh, right, it's damage. If he fails the save, he takes psychic damage, but he did make the save. That's right. Thank you. I knew it wasn't like a fear effect. I couldn't remember exactly what it did. She then, a bit later, Misty Steps backward again so that she's out of his easy range. And uses Refreshing Step to restore a few HP. Or rather, Refreshing Step gives temporary HP. So, different effect, but effectively the same thing. Adds some temporary hit points. Oh, that's right. And she cast Bane on it. So while she was perched on top of the throne, peering down at it, she cast Bane. I forgot about that because it didn't last very long, unfortunately. But yes, she was able to cast Bane on him, and then whooped away again. And then Teagarn kind of took her place, jumped onto the throne to try to better reach all undead are immune to fear, something Glint would know. That's fair. That makes sense. Teagarn jumped up onto the throne to be able to get a better look at it and try to hit it. Bram tried to hit it again, and again missed both his attacks. My dice were interesting yesterday. And then Marcella moved forward a bit. So first, he managed to throw off a third of those Hellfire orbs. Which, again, I want to reiterate, that's about 40 damage on a failed save, and still like 20 on a succeeded one. So I believe with the third Hellfire orb, both Glint and Phalar passed out, fell unconscious. That's when the concentration on Bane dropped, without doing much of anything, unfortunately. And so at this point, yeah, orb, spell, orb, yeah. Adela moved forward, having just seen two of her current companions drop unconscious from this little guy cowering behind the throne, hiding behind the throne. She peers around the corner, sees Bram and Garn, like, literally on the throne, Bram right beside it, trying to, like, stick his sword between the statue and the throne to get at this thing. And there's, this big stone throne and two big statues. And as we alluded to earlier, Marcella has, again, Marcella Adela is the same character. Those are both names for Kitte's bard. Her actual name is Adela, but she is currently known to the party by her alias of Marcella. So if I'm using those a little bit interchangeably, it is the same character. Because, like, we the players know her name is actually Adela, so we've kind of been calling her Adela, but technically the characters only know her as Marcella currently. So that's how that works. She, as we alluded to earlier, she has great variety in her combat spells as a bard. She has so many choices of things that she can do. So many different ways that she can cast spells and damage the enemy. So I don't remember Kitte. Remind me, was it the second level shatter, the third level shatter, or the fourth level shatter that she decided to cast? Because, oh yeah, it was a fourth level. Perfect. Because Bram is actually in pretty good shape. Bram was still pretty good as far as HP, because he had been using his reaction to dodge the orb damage. Because he was able to make his saves, and then his reaction allowed him to not take that half damage, because they were dex-based saves. Which is fantastic. Love that. So he's looking pretty good. Garn was at, I believe, 9. Garn was at single digits HP. So it didn't really matter what happened. Garn was probably gonna go down. So Marcella did a little bit of mental calculus, and determined, okay, we might as well, like, we've got to do something, and cast Shatter. Yes, this is a 15-foot wide, 10-foot deep dais that has the throne, statues, Teetgarn, Bram, and the Death Knight. It's not a big space. It is true. So, Marcella casts Shatter. Both of the statues, because they're statues, instantly fail their saves and are destroyed. Brandis makes the determination that adds 1d6 piercing damage to anyone adjacent to those statue squares, because the statues just explode into stone shards, which, you know, would cause a bit of damage. So Teetgarn immediately goes down, falls backwards off the throne, and just kind of sprawls out on the ground. Bram takes some amount of damage, and the Castellan also takes some amount of damage. Yeah, they took 50 points of damage. Exactly. Oh, Kite, it looks like the D&D party needs to be updated again. It's still listing Lash as opposed to Adela. But yes, we do have that. Oh, I should also mention, the round previous to this, right before Adela cast Shatter, Teetgarn had attempted to make an attack and rolled a natural 1. And because Teetgarn is from Ravnica, oh yes, the statue took 50 points of damage because the objects take double damage, correct. Because Teetgarn is from Ravnica and he's been sort of unwillingly displaced from his home, he's got this interesting thing where anytime he rolls a nat 1, there's sort of like this surge of planar chaotic magic that sort of swells up around him and can have various effects. So the turn previous to this, again, before Adela cast Shatter, I had forgotten about this, he had rolled a nat 1, and the chaos effect that happened was like a battle rage effect, where any creature other than Teetgarn, within a certain range, would gain advantage on all of their attack rolls and disadvantage on all of their skill check rolls until the end of Teetgarn's next turn. And Teetgarn had chosen Bram, since Bram is also, you know, standing right next to him, and also attempting to stab this Death Knight. So, from the Shatter, Teetgarn goes unconscious, falls backwards off the throne. However, that chaos magic is just a thing that happened. It's not like it's dependent on his concentration or anything, so that's still in effect. So, Bram's turn then comes, and he's affected by this battle fury, and has just, you know, is kind of tangentially aware that both Glint and Phalar are unconscious, has just, you know, witnessed Teetgarn go unconscious right beside him. He kind of just winds up with everything he's got to attempt to hit this Death Knight, and rolls a crit, because I had advantage on the attack roll, and I rolled a 20. So, not only does Bram crit, he's big mad, so he also makes the choice to smite, because the Castellan is looking pretty hurt at this point, but he doesn't want to take any chances, especially not with, you know, 3 people unconscious and in need of help. So he just, you know, winds himself up with a 2nd level smite and this critical hit attack, and does, I want to say, 38 points of damage, when the Castellan was at like 7. So just, his sword glowing with radiant energy just brings it down on this Death Knight's head and just kind of like cleaves straight into its helmet. And it sort of, as it dies, it sort of just like dissolves away. Like it doesn't leave a body behind. It just kind of like, fades off into wisps of shadow and mist. Until all that's left is a ring that drops to the ground. A signet ring that has the emblem of Axholm on it, as you might expect the leader of this fortress to have. So that drops to the ground and kind of pings against the stone. Bram has other things on his mind. He is more concerned with, unconscious party members. So he sort of, starts to move away to try to get to the others. Adela is able to give a potion to Tigarn and get him back conscious at least. And then Adela goes over and pockets the ring. Because it is, it's probably got some sort of historical significance to it. It's a thing that she would like to have, so she just kind of swoops in and pockets it. And I'm not sure anyone else noticed her do that. If Bram noticed, he probably didn't care. So I don't know if anyone is actually going to call her on it. Yeah, I wonder what would happen if someone was to put on that ring. I'm sure that'll never come up again and never be a problem. So Tigarn is awake. Glint has this nifty item called the Periapta Wound Closure, which auto-stabilizes her, so she is unconscious but at least stable. Yeah, like I said, Bram is the only one that would have been in a position to notice, and even if somehow he did notice, I don't think he would have cared. He was definitely more concerned with unconscious party members at that point. So Glint auto-stabilizes. Phalar, on his turn, rolls and fails a death save. However, before he has to roll again, Bran is able to get to him and uses Lay on Hoof to get him awake again. So we are at least all conscious again. Some of us are quite hurt. So Glint kind of, once she catches her breath, Glint gathers everybody together and casts Prayer of Healing, which allows her to not only do we all gain the benefits of a short rest, but we also get an extra amount of hit points back that she rolls, except for Basil, because she can unfortunately only do it to a certain number of people. So Basil was the least hurt, so he sat out and sort of kept watch while everybody else was getting their healing done. So we're all up to a respectable amount of HP again, because of course getting the benefits of a short rest allowed us to also roll hit dice if we needed to, in addition to the HP that Glint's prayer restored by itself. So we're all good on that at least. And then we, kind of regrouped a bit and we're like, okay, what now? So there's still doors here on the first floor that we haven't, that, Phalar wasn't able to scout through. Bram asked him, like, do you think the ghouls that we fought before were all of them? And Phalar was like, maybe. I think that might have been all of the ones that I saw when I was scouting, but there were doors that I couldn't see through, so there might still be more. So it's like, okay, we think that might have been all of the ghouls, but everybody still keep your guard up, as we're, because we need to clear the rest of the fortress and move through and make sure it's really secure for the people of Phandalin. So just kind of keep your guard up. Assume there might be more ghouls, basically, is what it came down to. We decided the best course of action would probably be to go upstairs first, clear the entire second level, you know, open all of the doors, clear everything out, and then come down and sweep the first floor. Because it feels like if we do the first floor first, things might have escaped up to the second floor. And then if we go up to do the second floor, things might escape downstairs. So we would just have to do the first floor again. So at least if we go from the top down, like, we know we've gotten everything. So we do head straight upstairs. And as we go up the staircase, Phalar is like, oh, you know, he reminds us that he had seen an incorporeal sort of undead hanging around in one of the rooms up here. He's very careful not to say ghost because, as a reminder, Glint is absolutely terrified of ghosts. And so Basil was like, well, I have invisibility. How about I scout ahead? And you know, try to see a little bit of what's around. So Basil casts invisibility on himself and sort of, you know, edges ahead. And as he turns the corner to go into one of the rooms, he finds this, you know, elven ghost in like the tatters of a gown. Her hair is all tangled around her face. You know, she's floating, she's incorporeal, clearly some kind of a ghost. And as Basil steps in, she turns and looks straight at him so she can see through invisibility. Or otherwise has some senses that allow her to perceive invisible people. And just points at him and goes, "Get out of my home!" And Basil, being sensible, is immediately like, "Yes, ma'am, right away. I'm very sorry, ma'am," and books it back the way he came. So he returns to the rest of the party. And also, not only did she yell, her jaw dropped like all the way to the floor, like grotesquely stretching open. And there's just this wave of like almost solid sound that just like washes over Basil. And so Basil is immediately like, "Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. I won't disturb you again, ma'am." And like runs back the way he came. And the rest of us I think most of the rest of us were perceptive enough that we were able to hear, you know, that. Yeah, exactly. Good. That's fine, right? That's totally normal. So Basil's like, "Oh, by the way, there's a ghost." And Glint immediately like poof explodes and is like, "Oh no, 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 no," and turns around like she's gonna like book it. So Bram kind of grabs her around the waist and is like, "No, no, stay. No, you're not going anywhere." But Glint is not happy to hear that there is a ghost here. But it is an elven ghost. Yeah, everything here is 100% normal. Don't even worry about it. But Phalar is interested to hear that it's an elven ghost when we know that this was a dwarven fortress. And Phalar has enough like history knowledge to know that elves and dwarves have not always gotten along historically. And there is an amount of history of you know, emissaries from one to the other getting imprisoned or murdered, you might say. So there's the thought of like, oh, perhaps this banshee ghost, whatever she is, perhaps she was an elven emissary to this dwarven community who met her end here and is now haunting their asses. Um, and has claimed this place as her own. So Balar wonders, being yeah, it's her house now. Exactly. Phalar wonders, being a noble himself, if maybe he can reason with her in the sense of, like, maybe he can convince her, like, oh, we've come to claim this place in the name of my house. Yeah, yeah, live glint react. No, exactly. So Balar goes to try to talk to her. It does not go well. Basil goes with him to just kind of cover him. Elven Ghost is not happy about that. Yeah, poor choices were made because bad roll. She is not happy to see Phalar. She is not willing to listen to what he has to say. She immediately tries to throw a spell at him. He decides to chromatic orb back. And that is initiative. And that is also where we made the decision to end the session. Because Kara and I, and then also Randus, all had plans. So we couldn't really go over time. And I mean, the beginning of a combat encounter is a good spot to end it anyhow. So, next week, because a reminder, yesterday was a makeup session, so there will be regular session next week. Next week we will pick up with the rolling of initiative to fight this, probably Banshee. Like, let's be real, it's probably a Banshee. Flint is not happy about it. Yeah, cliffhanger. So, yes, stay tuned next week to find out what happens as we try to fight this ghost lady. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Because different types of elves also dislike each other. That's true. Is slightly stronger than a Banshee? Excellent. That's great to know. Banshee extreme, shall we say. But yeah, it was a real good session. The combat against the Castellan was a lot of fun. Despite the fact that I couldn't hit anything. It was really interesting, and it was fun to work around the constraints of the fact that it had cover behind the throne. Was really interesting. Could have probably done without, one of the Hellfire orbs. But the dice made their decisions, and we stand by them. A solo Banshee would be a waste of time against a level 9 party. That's kind of what I figured and what I was wondering. I had hoped to blow up the throne earlier, but people kept standing on it. You know what? Fair. Thank you for not shattering Glint. The throne's damage threshold was 75. Out of curiosity, because I'm not sure exactly how this works, do objects like the throne have a persistent HP bar, for lack of a better term? Like, if we decided, okay, the only way to do this is to destroy the throne, let's, attack it. Would, if Bram did 10 damage and Teetgarn did 20 damage, would it add up? Or is it, no, you have to do at least X amount of damage in one shot to be able to destroy it? I don't actually know which way that goes. That's 7. Oh, there we go. That is a week's worth of hexagons. Okay, that makes sense. HP is based on size and material for objects, but they also have a damage threshold. Like, at least 20 damage per hit to do any damage to the 50 HP the statues had. Okay, that makes sense. So it's kind of both. Cool. I wasn't sure how trying to damage objects worked. Just in case it becomes relevant for doors in the future. Alright. I am going to go take a break. Everybody get up, stretch, move around a little bit, refill your drinks, etc. Do what you gotta do. I'll be back in a few minutes, and then we will continue doing hexagon thing. Alright, back in a bit. Aha! And board game arena. Excellent. So I will be back in a bit with board games, and then we will continue with hexagon. Yeah. All right, I have returned. Yes, kits, please make food begin to happen. Okay, let us... actually open VGA. Let us make sure OBS is capturing GA. There we go. Yeah. Oh, I've been remiss in my reminders. If you're in a time zone where you should be eating food, please go eat food. All right. Let's see. What have I got? I guess I will take this ribbon. Ooh. Yes. I'm ahead. It's fine. Let's play. Okay. Azul, huh? I guess let's grab those guys. And we'll grab a bird. Today we reheat frozen lasagna in the oven. Ooh. I cannot top a 6. I mean, frozen lasagna is indeed food. I guess let's take the penguin. It's just immediately a point, so... Okay. So I've got one filed. I've got no upgrades. Grab that. Sure. Next. Okay. So this is summer. So I get points for water next to fields. I think maybe we do this. Put it there? Yeah, that works. Okay. Oh, good. Oh, good, a single block. I think the correct is to put it there. Yes. Okay. Oh boy, a square. I think that goes... So it can go there. Or it can go there. But this at least takes care of the one rock. So let's put it there. Okay, we drafting. And this is the plants game? Guess this one? Sure. I mean, the animals are actually pretty good. Yeah, let's go with that one. Probably that one. Oh good, we get to see final scoring. Oh yes, that is true. Telepathy was set up during the prayer of healing. Yes, it was cast at the same time as Glip, because it also needs to be cast as a ritual. Yes, that is a thing I forgot to mention. Oh right, I can claim a goal. Yes. Don't know that any of these... Oh, that one works. Hey, Kuma has resubscribed for the 23rd month. 20-point hand in cribbage. Excellent. Love that. Okay. So a 4 would go here, which is not good. Thing is, either of these would also go there. But maybe not until after somebody else has. So let's do this one. Excellent. I will put it here. Thank you very much. Perfect. Exactly what I was hoping for. Okay. I need one yellow. Actually, I need one blue. Yeah, I think we do that. That needs to go there. It's fine. Okay. So in this game of Metro, we cannot rotate our tiles, which I actually kind of like. I kind of like the challenge of not rotating anything. No. Ooh, actually, let's put it here. Yeah. I think we put it here. Yes. think the play here is to actually grab this ribbon. Come on, BGA. There we go. Hello. All right. Nope. Okay. That one maybe. Or actually maybe here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so here I want to do one of the 4s. 11 and 9 or 12 and 8. Actually, let's do that because that will bring the 8 up to neutral points at least. Okay. Oh good, this is the freebie. So 2 4s. I don't want either of the other 2, so let's do that. Ooh, steamrollers. Let's go ahead and deliver this one, I think. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Draw 2 cards. I have the power grid. I guess let's go ahead and play this one. Okay. Sure. Play that. Just draw all the cards. Okay, interesting. Next. Okay. I actually do want... Okay. Right. Let's go ahead and build this. Ah, the rotatey one. time I am the black trades. Okay. Yes. Yep. Let's draw a clover. Ooh, that's very convenient. Excellent. That goes there. Sea salt and paper. Let's draw from the deck, hoping for crabs, I think. Hey, crabs. You go there. Let us play the crabs. And I guess crab octopus? Yeah, let's do that. Ooh, yes, mountain tranquility. I think I can play the 10 there. Okay, I can play the 10 here. Only discarding 1. I can play the 5. Nope. Yep, that's kind of my only. So play that. Discard the 1. We're getting there. We're going up. We are going up. Okay. I'll play that. Ooh, right, I can play this. Ooh. Alright, so we have the Tree of Light. Discard 3 crystals and gain 1 energy token, or discard 1 energy token and you can transmute. We have Olaf's Blessed Statue, which you just gain 20 crystals for 3 water, which is good. Potion of Life, you can sacrifice it to transmute each of the energy tokens in your reserve into 4 crystals, or the Amulet of Air, increase your summoning gauge by 2. Ooh. I mean, it's probably either the Amulet of Air or Olaf. I feel like this early in the game, I probably want the Amulet of Air. You have played a tax card. What does that mean, Kite? Ah. Okay. Neat. Love that. So many crystals. But summoning gauge. But so many crystals. Yeah, Kide playing Death and Taxes. You know what? YOLO. Let's do this one. All right. Heat. Move 5. Cool 1 down. Thank goodness. What have I got? I've got 2 heat in my engine. And I definitely need 1 to go around this corner. So let's
not. And let's not discard. Ooh boy. Alright. I'm definitely playing that one. Maybe I'm only playing that one? It's annoying, but yeah. I'm gonna have to do it that way. Would have been nice if I'd drawn like a 1 or something, but it's okay. Alright, so all I have left in this Yahtzee game are numbers. I do have a 4 left, so let's roll those. Ooh, let's roll that. Okay, that's pretty nice. I'll play that there. Okay. You may spend 1 less energy when building a level 2 gizmo. Well, that's exciting. Do I just build that? I think maybe I just build that. Because then I get a point. I get to pick 1. So let's grab a red, because that lets me draw. Neat. Okay. Next. Okay. I'm doing poorly in this game. Let's move 4. Let's cool down. That's adrenaline. I should have plenty of heat now. Yep. So, YOLO. Yep. Anything but a 4. Perfect. What? Oh, the previous corner. Duh. It's fine. It's fine. Oh well. Again, I'm not catching up anyway. Let's do yes, we'll go with that. Ah well, that was on me. Those. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. I think you can go here. Let's grab that ribbon. YOLO. Or I guess Koi Koi. Okay, this is the non-rotating one. Here? Yeah. No. Here. Yes. An 8-point hand for Kite. 0-point hand for me. Boo. And a 2-point crib. That is how it goes sometimes. Okay, 2 cards to Kite's crib. Probably that. we go. Perfect. And then let's draw a blue. There we go. Okay. Right. Okay. This would let me draw yet another card. Okay. Let's see. Increase your energy and increase your heat. Yeah, I'll take more titanium though. Excellent. Okay. I guess I should finally pick up this bright. Not like it's going to help me at the moment, but... Okay. Here. Perhaps. Or... Ooh. Let's put it there. I think. Yeah. Perfect. Next. A 3-point hand for Kite. A 16-point hand for me. Love that. And a 4-point crib. Cool. I'll take that. Okay, 2 cards to Kite's crib. Probably those. Oh, dang, the trips. Okay. 1s, 5s, and 6s are all I need here. Let's YOLO the 6s. Oh, be the 1s. Alright, that's fine. Okay. Whoa, 24-point hand for Kuma. Hell yeah. 14-point hand for me. And a 5-point crib. Dang. Lunch.
Razal Hanu beef bulgur salad.
Lunch. Thank you. Nom nom. Pardon me while I eat. And also board game, but eat. Oh, this looks so tasty. Alright, definitely don't need that. Yeah, let's go with that for now. I'm still alive for now. Also, I am eating, so I'm going to stay on this screen. And continue board gaming until I am no longer eating. I apologize for any food noises that may be coming through. Please let me know if they are too egregious and I will mute myself. I think I'm far enough away from the microphone, but it's hard to tell. And I am eating loud salad. I mean, it could be quiet salad. I would argue that, like, pasta salads are probably quiet salads. But this has, like, a bunch of crunchy greens and radishes and cucumber in it. Ooh. Ooh. Yay. Okay. I literally just need 1/6, and I'll at least hit this column. Don't think it'll be enough to catch up, but it's something. Hmm. Hmm. Me just continuing to make Minecraft villager noises while I eat. Here, let's do this. There we go. Enjoy full screen ducks. Eventually, this orb will just be so crammed with duck they won't have any room to move. That was very tasty, Kaylee. Thank you. Alright. I have now finished eating. So let's switch back to this and return. There we go. All right. Drink here. All right. As always, thank you for the board games, friends. Much joy and cards was had by all.
Loud salad just makes you think it was covered in hot sauce for the boldest of flavors. No, I meant loud as in volume, because it was a lot of very crunchy things. It was a lot of very fresh greens and radishes and cucumbers. And they were all quite crunch. So I was a little bit afraid that a lot of the mouth noise were getting picked up by the microphone. So it was a salad? Yes. But, like, it could have been quieter. Yeah, exactly. For people on microphones, it's loud food. What's a quiet salad? Like pasta salad. Or like potato salad. Which I guess that gets into the argument of do those count as salad. But like that's what came to my mind. It's like, oh, pasta salad is pretty quiet too. If your pasta salad is crunchy, you've done something wrong. Those are just gross salads, but still salads and quiet. That's fair, Randus. That just means more for the rest of us. Yeah, it was extremely tasty. I found it a touch over sweet sometimes if I got a bite that was too much of the pomegranate. But otherwise it was extremely tasty. That might have been the cranberries, probably yes. If I got a bite, like it wasn't all the time. It was just every now and then I would get a bite that had like several of them in it, and that would be a little bit oversweet. But otherwise, it was very tasty. fucking know when you feel a bit more alive now that you've eaten? Yes. That's at least part of the reason why we eat things. Reminder to anyone else who has not eaten, please go eat. Or what to eat? Hotel room service? I assume you're probably in your hotel if you're actually watching stream. Or I guess go see if does the hotel have a restaurant? No room service, breakfast only. They have vending machines with sandwiches and cup noodles that feel very overpriced. Oh dear. Are you up to venturing out for food? Or is it a very minimum energy kind of day? Up to venturing out for food. Okay. I don't know. I guess maybe you go walk around the block that your hotel is on and see if anything jumps out. I believe he's still in the Netherlands. Yeah, Amsterdam. Yeah, I guess maybe go walk around the block and see what seems edible or if anything jumps out at you. There was an Indian place you went to the other day. Ooh, that sounds tasty. Curry. Delicious. Ooh, maybe you can find like dumplings or something. Ooh. Kitsune has a suggestion. Remember, kids, don't click on random links linked in chat. Except this is Kitsune. We trust her with our computer. That's true. If nothing else, pizza's always a solid fallback. Or, like, I'm sure you can find, like, sub sandwiches. Or, like, you know, constructed sandwiches? Not pre-made sandwiches is what I'm saying, but, like, where you can find a sandwich place around. It does bring up the possibility of, like, commander sandwiches. Ooh, or limited sandwiches. I know sandwich drafts have been a thing. Yes, we trust that the only thing Kitsune will put on our computers without authorization is puns. Sandwich draft? Yeah, like you have all of the different fixings laid out and like different kinds of bread, and you take turns picking a thing. So like if I went first, I'd be like, okay, I pick sourdough bread, and then nobody else can pick that. And then it gets back around to me again, and I'm like, okay, I pick the cheddar cheese, and then nobody else can pick the cheddar cheese. And you just go through and draft a sandwich. I've never done it personally, but it sounds fun. For like a fun themed dinner for like if you're having a bunch of friends over to play Magic or something. I'm assuming commander sandwiches would be like something like the Scooby-Doo sandwiches that are like 2.5 feet tall and you can't fit them in your mouth. But you only want like a few things on your sandwich, that just screams you're getting a bad thing that you're not going to eat. Yeah. The fun of the sandwich draft. Yeah, that's true. You don't have to run everything you draft. You don't have to put all of the things on your sandwich. It's just only the things you draft are the things that are available to you. Maybe for the second slices of bread you sideboard? Ooh, that's a fun idea. Or maybe you can add in special house rules where you can negotiate trades with other participants. Or maybe that certain things have multiple uses. Like maybe 2 or 3 people can draft, I don't know, the various condiments. Like maybe 3 people can get, I know you don't like mayo, Randus, but like maybe 3 people can get mayo and 2 people can get cheddar cheese, kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Some things should be commons. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Some things can be drafted multiple times. Other things, the first person to get it is the only person that gets it. What would the rares be in a sandwich draft? We're probably thinking way too far into this. Meat? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good thought. The meats are single use only. Only one person can get each meat. That sounds right. But then maybe other things are multiple. Lower rarity. Yeah, that's a good thought. Because there's also enough different sandwich meats available that you could still have a wide variety. Like, you could have regular roasted chicken breast and also tandoori chicken breast and black forest ham and also honey baked ham. So, like, still some variety, but enough different things that people should be able to get something that they'll enjoy. We are sort of reinventing roll for sandwich from the opposite direction. Yeah, kinda. I swear I've actually heard of people doing a sandwich draft before, but I might be crazy. Chicken skewers with peanut sauce? Oh, that sounds really good, Barris. That actually sounds really good. Surely breads go in the land slots with the basic breads not requiring drafting. Oh, that's a good thought. Like, white bread and whole wheat bread are free. If you want those, you can have them. Or you can pick up fancier breads in the draft. That's a good thought. Oh, it's a ways away to go there again. Boo. Oh, can you imagine how weird it would be if you only managed to draft one slice of the bread you need? Just have like one slice of, like, I don't know, whole wheat, whole rye, and then one slice of white. Well, that would be so weird. Open-faced sandwich is always an option. That's true. Damn it, now I kind of want to arrange a sandwich draft. And I feel like the buy-in for it would be about as much money as an actual Magic card draft with the way grocery prices are. But it would be fun. Oh yes, the cube loaf of bread. The cheapest possible cube loaf. Is this the restaurant you set on fire, Barris? No, that was in Delft. Oh, fair enough. What? Dobby had never had fondue before? Goodness. Yeah, Dobby and Barris set a restaurant on fire. It's fine. It was only a little on fire, from my understanding. Yeah, the fire was localized. It was contained to one plate. Because the cap on the from my understanding, the cap on the fuel container for the fondue pot got jostled. And may have spilled some fuel onto the plate, which may have then ignited slightly. But the servers were very quick to take it away back into the kitchens, where the smoke alarms then began going off. It's fine. Very small, very localized, only a tiny bit of arson. And Dobby will never forget his first fondue. Exactly. You're making memories. What is friendship without a little arson? As a treat, exactly. I tend to prefer raclette over fondue, but that's just me. Raclette is basically the same thing, except you're grilling cheeses and things instead of sticking them in a pot. Fried ship? Fried ship. Fried ship is what happens when you make friends at the KFC. Never had KFC and don't think I ever will. Yeah, good. I actually very much dislike KFC. It was the easy go-to for the joke, but yeah, I actually do not like KFC at all. You should try fast food. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Try some familiar restaurants if you can in Europe. Because, like, honest to God, McDonald's in the US versus McDonald's in Japan, even, 15 years ago when I was there, was night and day. It was ridiculous. I will give it that, Randus. The mashed potatoes and gravy are fine. But yeah, the chicken is bad. The chicken is very bad. I used to always get their mac and cheese whenever we went there. The mac and cheese is also passable. And I could get the mac and cheese to avoid having to eat chicken. One thing I remember from my last trip to Europe is that the ketchup tasted weird. Like they actually wanted to taste the tomato for some reason. Oh, that is very weird. Ketchup isn't supposed to taste like tomatoes. Okay, in your all circles all of the time dwarf fortress base, how should you do your housing area? Clearly hexagons. Obviously. Hexagons, bestagons. It will make the dwarves very happy. Dwarves are basically like bees, right? There is surprisingly little American fast food around. That's kind of also not a surprise, to be honest. Especially if you're in one of the older and more historic parts of Amsterdam, I think. Canadian fast food that's like natively Canadian has for the most part not really spread outside Canada, as far as I know. Most of it, anyway. 2 Burger Kings and 1 McDonald's for like all of Amsterdam? Oh wow. Good for them. Good for them, honestly. Natively Canadian fast food is like A&W, Tim Hortons, I guess. Boston Pizza, if you want to count that as fast food. New York Fries, if you want to count that as fast food. And like, that's it off the top of my head. Yeah, I have seen A&W and Timmy's in the States, but I don't think they've really spread much beyond that. Like, I don't think you're gonna find A&W in Europe. Yeah, exactly. I found that very funny when I first moved up here too, Randus. What do you mean Boston pizza is Canadian? What do you mean New York fries is Canadian? Oh, isn't God, their name is escaping me. The bagel place. Kara, isn't the bagel place also Canadian? The one that we have over at College Square? I forget their name suddenly for some reason. I feel like they're out of Montreal, aren't they? But again, I don't think they've spread much beyond Canada. Kettleman's, that's it. Yeah, Kettleman's bagels. They're amazing. Yeah, Montreal bagels are the best. I love Kettleman's. I'm so happy we have one within walking distance. Ontario Canadian Steakhouse. You were walking around Dresden. Was it literally just named, like, Canadian Steakhouse? I wonder what made it Canadian. Because that's not like a chain. Oh, Ontario. Interesting. Yeah, I bet you're right, Randus. I bet it was the owner that's Canadian. Huh. Neat. Oh, I see. The name of the restaurant is Ontario, and then, like, the byline for it was Canadian Steakhouse. I see. Interesting. Just so funny to see that when we have Outback in Canada. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Never your own steaks, only foreign steaks. Aetherites, aetherites. My plan is to start getting those screenshots for you this week, Kits. I meant to start it yesterday and then I got very distracted. Oh, yeah. The Netherlands very famously has said F you to the entire Atlantic Ocean for most of their history. Enjoy dinner, Barris, and enjoy the rest of your vacation. Safe travels. For stopping by. Yeah, and good luck. May you find food that is tasty and agreeable. has another 7 hexagons attached. And I will probably call it there. I know we're a couple minutes early, but that's okay. I need to go shower, and then we've got a table to assemble. But yeah, I'm real glad I'm able to get back to streaming. To hopefully be back next Sunday. Do more hexagons. There will be another D&D recap because we'll have another session next Saturday. But yeah, hope everybody has a good rest of your Sunday, however much of it is left. I hope you have a good week. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep each other safe. Do what you gotta do. How would you name the quilt There? I mean, that would be a fun name for a quilt. There. Where? There. What? There. But yeah. Hope everybody has a good week. And I will talk to you all in the future. Yeah.